Delighted to be joined by Liam Livingstone, Lancashire and England and Perth Scorchers. Just off the back of a very, very successful stint down under. Livi, welcome back, mate. What's it like to be back?
It's just nice to be out of a bubble, to be honest. Having gone away with England to South Africa straight into the Big Bash, it's been a long 3 months. But yeah, it's nice. I've enjoyed being away. I've enjoyed being back playing some cricket. I've not played a lot of cricket over the last year, so it was kind of nice to try and find some rhythm back playing again. And like you said, we did really well as a team in the Big Bash, so it was nice.
Tell me about it. You've been playing in front of crowds. What's that like again? It's like a whole new experience?
Honestly, it was like being a kid again. When we went back to Perth, so we played a couple of games in Adelaide where there was crowds, and then we went back to Perth for 4 games in a row. And walking out to bat at Perth, me and Jay both looked at each other as we were walking out, as though we were 2 12-year-old kids again. It was pretty surreal, to be honest. That sort of, there's a different kind of adrenaline that you get from playing in front of crowds. There's the adrenaline that you get of obviously playing professional cricket and the pressure of it. But it's different when there's people watching. And we played one game on a Saturday afternoon in Perth, and there was 27,000 in, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. And it's like there was parts of the game where you sort of just had to take a step back and sort of realise what it used to be like pre-COVID. So I guess fair play to Australia. They've obviously done the COVID stuff really well, and to be able to play in front of crowds every game, it just changes the game, and it's a whole lot more enjoyable. And especially when you win games at home. We won all four of our games in Perth. So after some of the games, it was it was really nice to see fans back in.
Let me tell us a little bit about Perth for the people who are listening who might not know a lot about it. What's it like both on and off the pitch?
It's a lovely city. I love it. I spent last year there, obviously, and I spent a winter playing there, so I know it really well. They're it's the most isolated city in the world, so they get around their own very well. So the Scorchers are a really well-supported franchise. Even on game days, you sort of drive through the city and everyone's wearing orange. And they obviously had such a big thing with the WACA. They've now gone to Optus, where it holds more fans. And I guess the Western Australians, they love their cricket, but they love the Scorchers as well. So it's definitely a great franchise to play for. You obviously, if you do well for them, you feel very loved. And I got a lot of messages having come home again this year, and I guess it's kind of nice. It feels like a home away from home, and I guess that's the nice thing. T20 franchise circuit, you're obviously different teams most years and things like that. So I guess being able to go back to the same place a couple of years running, it kind of feels nice. And going back this year, it kind of felt like I was just going home. So I really enjoyed my time in Perth. It was a shame we couldn't play more home games this year. But the stadium's phenomenal, and the facilities there are out of this world, and it's definitely one of the best stadiums I've played in the world. So I guess we're kind of lucky that we get to call that home ground.
Talked about cricket, and you've talked about everything that's gone along with playing for the Scorchers. But what about leisure time? Did you get much time to yourself when you're over there? Did you manage to get out much? I know you're a massive golf fan. Some of the greatest golf courses in the world over in Perth. Did you sample them?
I did once, yeah. Do you know what? I played quite a bit of golf in Cape Town with the England boys, and I was playing that badly that I just lost interest in it. And Perth was red hot when we were there. So the last thing I wanted to do was spend my life with the snakes in the bushes looking for my ball. So I played it. Yeah, I played once. I didn't play very well, and that was that for my golf. They went back in the bag and stayed there. But life was pretty normal. We pretty much had like bubble rules where we could basically do what we wanted outside. We could go out for meals. We could go and sit outside and have a drink and have some food. So as long as we were outside, we were free to do whatever we wanted. So it was nice to be able to head down to the beach after training and have some food outside. We had we had a good group. We had me, Joe Clark, and Jason Roy. So we had 3 English boys who we looked after each other well. It was good. I really enjoyed their company as well. So yeah, outside of cricket, life is for non-cricketers, life is normal in Perth. We obviously had to wear masks inside whenever we were inside, going into the hotel or whatever. But apart from us, there was not a mask to be seen. They hadn't had a case up until the last week, since April or whatever. And they had 1 case last week and locked down for 5 days. And now they've had none since, so they're free again. So it's pretty weird to kind of go back to the olden days where life was normal, which was pretty nice. And it's kind of refreshing. The bubble gets to you. Bubble cricket definitely, it can wear you down at times. As easy as it is for us that we're back to playing cricket, we're back to working, we're back to doing what we love doing. It can take its toll at times. So it still don't get away from the fact that we're in a really privileged position, that we're still being able to travel the world and play cricket. But yeah, it was kind of nice to have a little bit of freedom again.
That's good to hear as well, because cricket's always been a massive part of your life. But playing with the Scorchers, you're an old hat now at white ball T20 cricket. Played with some great players in and around the world. With Perth, you've mentioned before you had Jason Roy, Mitch Marsh, Cameron Bancroft, top world class T20 players. Did you learn much from those guys?
Yeah, I guess I spent a lot of time with Jace over the last couple of months, probably too much at times. But no, like you said, these different competitions, you play with under different coaches, you play with different teammates, and you get to know different people, which is really, it's great for your cricket. You spend time talking to people. You spend time talking to Mitch, who's probably one of the best finishers in world cricket at the moment. You speak to Jace, who's probably one of the best opening batters in the world at the moment. So it's nice to be able to spend time with them, sort of the different people. So yeah, I guess the time off the pitch is almost as exciting as the time on it. Being able to pick the brains of different people, and like you said, the amount of different teams and different players that you get to play with these days, that it's almost like rivalries go out the window. And like Mitch will come over in the summer and maybe play for a team in England, and then all of a sudden you're playing against someone that you've spent so much time talking about their game, and I know exactly what Mitch doesn't do well. He knows exactly what I don't do well. So it's I guess that's just the franchise circuit at the moment, and it's it's great fun on and off the pitch.
You did great again, mate, didn't you? Another impressive competition stats. Over 400 runs, an average of over 30. That's impressive stats for an overseas player, would you say? Are you happy with that?
Oh, I started pretty slowly. I guess if I'd have started the competition halfway through, I'd be over the moon with the way I played. And I guess it's T20 cricket for me is, I know that if I come off on one day, I can win a game. And I guess that's what I pride myself on. Consistency is not one of my big things that I'm working really hard on. But one thing I really pride myself on is being able to win a game on my own. And I guess I sort of had more success towards the end of the competition, especially in the sort of the big pressure game that was the eliminator of whoever won went through to the final. And I guess being able to have played a match-winning innings, and in that you kind of look back and that's the sort of thing that stands out in your head. And I guess that's the sort of thing that people remember, that kind of forget the struggles that I had at the start of the competition. And I guess I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself coming out of 2 weeks quarantine straight into cricket, having not played for maybe 3-4 months. I only played a couple of games for Lancs towards the end of the year. So I guess that's the difficult thing, not putting too much pressure on yourself, and knowing that, I know that if I come off, then we've got a pretty good chance of winning. So I guess that's what I look back on, having a couple of contributions along the way to qualify. And it's just a shame I couldn't pull it off in the final, which I obviously would have topped off a great competition. But still, if you look back, my stats are much better than I thought they were, put it that way. And I guess that's a nice thing, that going into going into the tournament, we'd lost 3 out of 3, and we were struggling as a team, and we were losing a lot of early wickets. So I guess being able to contribute to the team in that way is pretty nice, and being able to turn it around was cool.